Happy Monday.
There is a sign at my local McDonald's in the town I live in North Carolina. And you can't enter the parking lot, let alone wait in line and drive through without seeing and having to it's the only thing to read when you're in line at the drive through, other than the menu itself. So as soon as you start making your way towards it's one of those 2-lane McDonald's, kind of like a zipper.
Yep.
And then as soon as you round the corner and try to and wait for your turn to get to the first window to pay, this is the sign. It's on screen now, I think. This is the sign that you have to look at, and you're just sort of stuck while you're waiting. Now, granted, it's a McDonald's drive-through, so hopefully you never have to wait too long. But you have to see it, you have to read it. It's there all the time. You can't enter the McDonald's parking lot without passing by this sign. Like literally, it's a foot away from your car as you drive it. It's an outdoor sign, obviously.
Hmm. Hmm.
And McDonald's, of course, is a marketing juggernaut and well known for being one of the most prolific and effective marketing. I mean, it's right up there with Coca-Cola and Nike and Apple for the quality and like effectiveness of its marketing.
Right.
There's even an example. I use McDonald's as an example in another kind of communication thing that we've gone over in the past, I think, where we talk about how you're not trying to go 50-50 in your communication with your reader or your audience. You at least need to go to 90% of doing the thinking and communicating and being responsible for like crafting it in such a way so that your reader, your listener, your viewer, whatever, will get it instantly. I say like the reason you only go to 90% is because to get that last 10% requires an extraordinary amount of money and time. Very few organizations ever get there, but McDonald's is one of them. So
Hmm.
like so is Nike, right? You go to Nike and it's like just do it, right?
Yep.
3 words, and they manage to convey what they're trying to accomplish, who you are if you belong to their kind of tribe, and an emotion, all in just 3 words. And then, of course, it takes years and millions of dollars in advertising to embed that in everybody's brain, right?
Sure.
McDonald's has the same thing, and they've had a few of them over the decades, but the latest one is in just a 5 note jingle, right? Da na 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 na, right? They've managed to implant that in everybody's head worldwide. And I mean, at the 90, 95, 99% point, you're really just conveying an emotion in as short amount of time as possible, right? I'm loving it. McDonald's, right? That's their slogan.
That
So
is.
it was, yeah, and so they're so good in so many ways. I mean, they're they are to fast food marketing what Disney World is to theme park arrangement, right? And everything is thought through, everything is tested, everything is as good as it can be. And then this stupid sign is looks almost like somebody decided, hey, while I'm taking a break or while I'm on the crapper, I'm going to write out this sign and then have someone make it. And by the way, for all I know, it's the local franchisee. I don't know if franchisees are allowed to do much for making their own signs,
I don't believe so.
but I mean, it's possible, I guess. Someone really low down or even a franchisee had the sign made. But
I,
it's terrible for so many reasons that I figured today you on the visual side and me on the copywriting side
mm,
can explain why this master of marketing has messed up at least in this one tiny bit.
sounds good. We want to start.
Oh my god, I want to start with the copy. First of all, if
Right.
you the comedian Jim Gaffigan has this thing where he like talks about how people are embarrassed to say that they eat at McDonald's, right? Or eat McDonald's food. I've never been in that neither is Gaffigan. He's very upfront. Like, I love McDonald's. It's like it's McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know? Also, how annoying is it when you're in line inside of McDonald's and the person ahead of you, they're at the cashier and they're going, hmm, what am I gonna buy here? It's like, have you not been here 1,000 times? Have you not tasted everything they make? How do you not know what you want at this point? Right? It's very annoying.
Hmm.
But he said everyone like denies it, but everyone has either eats at McDonald's or has their own version of McDonald's. Or for you, it's Burger King or Five Guys or whatever. But I mean, you have your own like guilty pleasure, done for convenience. I don't want to think about something, so let's just do it, kind of thing. And so I probably drive either to get a coffee or to get, just anything. I'm probably at this McDonald's at least once a week, or I'm taking someone else there, one of my kids, so that they can get a little treat or something.
Right.
And if about 6 months ago, I started using the McDonald's app. And if you're at all a regular or quasi regular customer at McDonald's and you're not using the app, you're insane. Because the app is fantastic. You can order ahead of time, and when you pull into the parking lot, it pops up and there's a little button like confirm that you're here. And you just press on the button and it'll say, hey, so do you want us to bring it out to you in the
Yep.
parking lot? Do you want to go to the drive-through? Do you want to go into the store? Whatever. Just tell us what you want and we'll put it in the right place for you. And of course, it's also a lot cheaper. Not that McDonald's is expensive anyway, it's really not. But it's a
No.
lot cheaper to buy from the app. There's always deals available on the app that you don't see any
In the
other
store.
place that you might order the food.
Yeah. Yeah. Because for me, McDonald's, my version, I mean, we have McDonald's there, but my version of McDonald's is Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
So we don't go to McDonald's much, but we do go to Dairy Queen. And exact same thing. All the good coupons are in the app. They always have something special for you that makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. Yep.
Right. And of course, the
Right.
pandemic really brought home the convenience of delivery, but also just using the app and
Yeah.
minimizing contact, right?
Yep.
So the problem with the sign is not that it's about the app. The app's fantastic. Everyone should be using the app. I sometimes will start using the app and order while I'm in the drive-through line, so that by the time I get to the drive-through line, I just give them the little code that pops up, and that's all I need to do. Payments handled. I don't have to hand them a credit card. It's all done, right?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
fantastic. So there is a lot of things wrong with this sign, though. First of all, this sign is trying to do way too much. That's number one, and we'll get into that. It's doing too much.
Yeah.
Two, there's stuff on the sign that just doesn't need to be there. Like, it's extraneous.
Okay.
And then three is that there's no benefit communicated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still level one, right? This is who we are and what we're doing. It's not you could be better. You could have a better life. You could have a better experience. It almost tries to hint that you could have a better experience, but doesn't actually make it there. And there's certainly nothing at the transformation level. It doesn't have to be, but still. So
Right.
let's number one. First of all, what is this sign trying to do? Is this sign trying to sell you food? Is it trying to tell you that there's a permanently low price on all soft drinks? Or is it trying to get you to use the app?
It's trying to get you to use the app, and
It's kind of trying to do all three, though.
because it does it badly, it's a badly mixed message.
Yeah, nobody comes away from this sign with a clear understanding of what McDonald's wants them to do or feel
Right.
or believe.
Right. Yep.
Or no, right? And this is unusual for McDonald's. They're usually laser focused in all of their marketing, but not on this one. One of the reasons this sign is terrible is it's trying to do too many things.
Mm-hmm.
In copywriting, it breaks the rule of one, which is you try to communicate one thing at a time.
Yep.
And so, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that the crispy chicken biscuit is fine, and I certainly don't have a problem with $1 for any size drink. It's great, but it doesn't belong on this sign, or it does, and get rid of the app stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, looking at the copy for the app stuff, like why would I want to use the app? It's just three options, and they're just information, and there's no benefit to me. There's nothing like speed through the drive-through, which is, you kind of can do.
Right.
Right. Get it. They can't say get it your way because that's not literally, because that's a Burger King, I think.
It is.
Sales mark, trademark, right? But, they could reword it to something along the lines of you will, receive your order or, receive your food however you like, or, speed up the ordering process.
Mm-hmm.
So that, order from your couch, pick up here. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to phrase this, but they do none of it. They just list a bunch of things. and they think by throwing an exclamation mark at the end of it, they've managed to convey emotion. Like, who cares? I hate it. Apparently, Amazon or someone is delivering to my house, and so the dog's going crazy.
Apparently. And then by picturing a certain thing, they're trying to drive you towards a certain direction with the food,
Right.
but it doesn't. But the wording doesn't help that.
No, there's nothing to support that. Also, the biscuit is a breakfast food, and soft drinks generally are not breakfast food.
Generally correct.
So, right? I mean, if that was a biscuit and a cup of coffee, or if it was a quarter pounder with cheese and a Dr. Pepper, that'd be fine. But
Hmm.
there's a dissonance in messaging there. It's like, wait, what are we talking about here? Who would combine these two foods?
Right.
Generally, I mean, I'm in the South. People would definitely combine those two foods, but
Of course.
normally, no, you would not combine those two foods.
Here it would be weird.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Plus, there are four images on the screen, right? The $1 one, fine, I guess, but why? But the app in the lower left, it doesn't look like the app. It's not what the app looks like,
No.
and right, and it's small print relative to the rest of it. It's the same size font. It's even smaller actually than the descriptions of the food.
Yep.
So it's such a mess. Like, every time I look at it, I want to go over and start, like, with an X-Acto knife, start cutting stuff out and putting new, better stuff in it. I mean, imagery wise, I mean, this is an outdoor sign, so I imagine it's faded a bit. It's one of the reasons why it's like not a sharp looking picture right now. But I mean, what would you change color wise? I mean, and just so everyone understands, right?
Yeah.
This kind of signage, this kind of marketing collateral by a company like McDonald's is as precisely thought through in every element as any scene in a movie. Like, every scene you see in a movie, even every book in a bookshelf behind someone has been chosen for a reason. All of the colors have been specifically chosen to either match or offset each other or to convey
Right.
a tone. Like, literally every little knickknack, where the person is standing relative to the door, like every conceivable thing has been thought through, because it's very expensive to make a movie, and it's very expensive time wise and resource wise to make really great marketing. And so you don't waste anything by just throwing it in the background.
Hmm.
So every single thing, from the color scheme, the color of the well, I guess a table that the food is on, the bluish blurred background, right? Why they use that particular sandwich, everything has been thought through. There's no
No, there's no.
sloppiness in an
Right.
image like this. So, like, what are they doing here?
They're trying to do too much with one thing.
Yeah,
For sure. And it's funny. The first thing that hit me was the color, because I have a degree in color. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, this just doesn't look right. Now, it might, like you said, it might have been sitting out in the sun. I mean, we're talking about the Carolinas. You guys have high UV down there, and
yeah,
does a number on signage like this, and so usually gets swapped out every 6 weeks or so, um, maybe a little longer. But I'm looking at a couple different pieces of this, and I'm thinking it's not an issue of the color, because like the red in the $1 looks decent. But there's a couple things that don't look right. The soda doesn't look quite right. The sandwich doesn't look right. So I'm not quite sure what happened to this, but I'm I don't know if it was sun faded or really a poor design, choice of color.
yeah. I mean, I would have had, if you're going to have such a light lower background, I might have chosen a darker upper
Background.
background.
Yeah,
Basically, it's sand and, like,
yeah.
and sky blue are the two color schemes here, right? Which means that the drink pops a bit visually, but the sandwich almost disappears into the color scheme.
It does, and it doesn't look appealing. Like,
No,
would you eat that?
yeah,
I'm not even sure I'd drink the drink. I mean, it just doesn't look appealing. So
I think
something.
they photoshopped the top bun the top of the
Yeah,
biscuit, to
yeah,
make it even darker, so it would at least be distinct against the background.
could be.
But I mean, if you think about it, the biscuit, the chicken fillet, the little wrapper that it's on, and the table that it's sitting on are basically just slight variations of the same color.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's like, why would you do that?
So we beat up on the ad quite a bit here, and there's obviously
Yes,
a lot of things.
and understand, right? They're great, but since I personally have to look
Yeah.
at this at least once or twice a week, it bugs me every time I have to look at it, and I've looked at it a lot.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about what they could do better. So obviously, I think there's some poor color choice. They could have made the sandwich more appealing, maybe a darker background. There's a lot of things that they could do with the
Right.
image itself.
They first could have decided what one thing are we trying to convince people of here,
That should be the very first thing that they should do.
right?
What
Are we
one?
trying to drive the use of the app? Now, why would McDonald's try to get people to use the app, right? There are a few reasons. One, if everyone used the app, it would definitely speed up the drive-through line, because right, the drive-through line has 3 points, doesn't it? It has the actual ordering, where someone is like talking back and forth, and you ask what you want. People are no faster ordering in the drive-through than they are at the cashier
Right.
inside, right? It's They're still looking at it. It's like they've never been to McDonald's before, trying to decide what they want, right? And then there's the payment, and then the fastest part of the process is they hand you your food.
Yep. And I think you missed even the most important thing. So the most important thing about the app is that they can invite you back again. Hey, we got a special deal on this new
Yes,
sandwich, or special on this, or come back and try this out. It's a way for them to get people
right.
back.
They can
It's
get you back, and they can get you in and through faster, which in a McDonald's drive-through is the holy grail, right?
efficiency. Efficiency is everything.
If you'd already ordered your stuff ahead of time and the payment was taken care of when you ordered,
Yep.
then you literally, if there's no one else, I'll tell you, if you've ordered by the app and there doesn't happen to be anyone at all in the drive-through, it is the fastest drive-through you've ever experienced. You pull up, they say, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's." You say, "I'm picking up mobile order AB17." They say, "Are you Dean?" They say, "Yes." And then that's it. You drive up to the first window, but all they do is give you a receipt. You drive right through to the second window. Your food's there. You're done. Like, it's
Nice.
as fast as it could possibly be. And if everyone did that, or if McDonald's could convince a large proportion of people to do that,
Yep.
then they'd have a better experience, and McDonald's would be more efficient. They could even handle more orders per hour.
Sure.
So if that's the goal, that's the
Yeah.
one thing you want to do, is to get people. Then you talk about,
Yeah.
in the customer's context, the positive future they'll live in if they use the app and order ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to throw all this other stuff in here. Like,
No.
what's the closest dollar, right? The people who are actually there and can, like, this sign is too busy for people who spend 1 second driving past it just to get into the McDonald's line, into the McDonald's parking lot. So the people who have time to read it have already ordered, and they're waiting to get to the first window to pay.
Right.
And by then it's too late
Way
to
too
sell
late.
them anything extra, usually. Right? They've made their order. Hardly anyone thinks, you know what? I'll add on a chicken biscuit to that order. Like, if you were in the mood for breakfast food, you've already ordered it. You're done. That part of your brain is like sealed it off. It's handled.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what you'd want to do is skip the food. They probably just couldn't resist, right? Someone said, "Oh no, we got to have food on the sign to show people that they could get food at McDonald's." As if
Yep.
there's anyone in the world who doesn't know what you buy at McDonald's. I'm
It,
and I'm not being facetious, by the way. As if there's
oh,
anyone in the world who doesn't know what McDonald's sells.
yeah.
So at that point, really, what you're trying to do is you're trying to hit them for next time.
Yep.
You're saying, like, the next time you're here, this would have been faster if you'd ordered ahead with the app on your phone. And they might not remember that the very next time, but as soon as they come into the parking lot, then the 1 second drive by of that sign says, "Oh, I could have ordered online." And if that happens enough,
Yeah.
then they'll start ordering with the app.
And we might give you a bonus of some kind too. So
Yeah.
that's the other thing they start to realize, because I know they really push that here at Dairy Queen. Oh, did you get your bonus this week? Oh, did you get your Blizzard?
Yeah.
So they do a lot of that too. But
So
yeah, and this is common. Too many people typically try to mix messages to get double duty or triple duty out of one piece of advertising,
right.
and you can't do it
No.
because it
What's
makes
what's the number one rule around that, right? We say it over and over. It's been said for 100 years. The confused buyer does nothing
nothing.
because
Right,
it's safer to do nothing than something if you're confused.
right, exactly. You don't want to
No.
be confused at all.
This basically should have been two signs. They could have even put them next to each other, but it should have been two
Yeah.
signs instead of one jumbled up confusing message.
And I gotta say, coming from the north, man, you had me really confused with the crispy chicken biscuit because the first thing I looked at it and I said, "Oh, a sausage biscuit," and then I said,
No.
"It's not what that says. It says crispy chicken biscuit.
Yeah, it's a chicken fillet.
What's up with that?"
What do you mean?
We don't. I don't think we even have that there. That here.
Yeah, you don't even have sweet tea.
I don't think it's. No,
Ridiculous.
we don't have sweet tea. Sorry, man.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I
We
don't
were
eat it
just.
very often, but it's delicious.
So there you go.
Biscuits are kind of not my thing, but they are delicious.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, this should have been two signs, one promoting the food and then one rewritten to push the app, which is, which benefits the customer and benefits, get through the drive-through faster and save money if
Yes.
by using the app, right?
Yes.
And then as far as the food goes, it probably should have been two food items that are more complementary to each other than a breakfast sandwich and a Coke.
You know what else is interesting about this? When I look at this, they've actually emphasized. They're talking about the app, but they've actually emphasized the sandwich and the soda.
Yeah. The sandwich and the soda are taking up 65% of the sign
Yeah.
and shouldn't.
The app is just a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
Yep, like a
The
tiny.
app and the copy about the app combined only take up about a third of the sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's rare to find a stumble like this in a company like McDonald's, but that
Yeah,
just makes it stick out all the more
it does,
when it
and
happens.
it's a good one to go over for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
So hopefully we touched on
And once a month on
most
Friday,
of them.
my dog and I get breakfast at McDonald's. Like we drive through, and I buy him once a month, and I buy him a hash brown. That dog loves hash browns from McDonald's, man.
Nice. I like.
And which means the last Friday of the month, I actually missed it last week, so it's going to be this coming week,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm going to have to see this sign again.
Oh,
This sign's going to be in my life for a while. Dang it, sign!
so do you know? Do you know roughly, since you go there fairly frequently? Do you know roughly how long that sign's been there?
I think it's been there for at least 6 months.
Well, that's a long time for a sign in the South.
Yeah, yeah. I will say one thing though.
Yeah.
They have another sign. It's not on their premises because of a lot of construction and how the roads were sort of rebuilt around a traffic circle. You used to be able to enter that McDonald's parking lot driving from both directions of the
Mm-hmm.
road that it fronts, and now you can only do it from one direction. And now from the other direction, there's a median, and you have to come all the way up around and turn
Mm-hmm.
left at an intersection, go through a traffic circle, and then move on, and then come in through the back of the parking lot. It's got a lot of different stores. It's not just McDonald's there. They
Yeah.
have this. They have this little $5. I'm sure it couldn't cost more than $5 or $10. This little $5 or $10 corrugated plastic sign about the size of a piece of paper, and it's just the red McDonald's background, the McDonald's arches, and an arrow. And I'm sure that $5 sign is worth $50,000 a year in sales.
Oh, I'm sure.
It
Probably.
does it right. And it is exactly singularly focused. And it's just so you know, if you
Mm.
turn left right now or coming up, the very next left you see, you can go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people would drive by. I mean, you can't see the McDonald's store really
Mm-hmm.
as you're driving by. It's really it's restaurants and laundromats and Planet Fitness and a Pizza Hut, and there's all kinds of stuff obscuring the view. And
Sure.
so that is probably the most cost effective marketing that particular McDonald's store could ever do. Just an arrow, McDonald's logo, red background, McDonald's red color,
Yep.
pointing in. saying, "Oh, there's a McDonald's in there." That's right. Like right compared to this sign,
Yes.
that little $5 sign, as far as effectiveness, they're not even in the same universe.
Right. And usually, with real estate being the real business of McDonald's, it's not
Yeah,
particularly hard to find them, and they don't usually hide them.
yeah,
So that's kind of unusual too in itself.
yeah. I mean, they don't have a choice, right? The city rerouted everything against them. That McDonald's has been there for
Yeah.
at least 16 years, because
Wow.
that's how long I've lived here, and it's been there at least. But now it was also probably the most dangerous, like 30 feet of road in the entire city, little entire
Huh.
town I'm in. Is
Okay.
like people would cut across multiple lanes of traffic to try to turn left into that McDonald's. So it's good for everybody that median was put up. But yeah,
Gotcha.
that one little sign, cheap little sign, genius.
Yep. It doesn't take
This
much.
sign, not genius.
Not at all.
No.
No, lots of flaws.
Yeah. All right, buddy. That's it for me today. Unless you got something else.
No, I think we pretty much hit on all the high points and what you could
Yes.
do to make it better or make your own stuff better.
McDonald's, make 2 signs. Say
Yeah.
one thing on your sign and understand what it is you want someone to do or think or believe, and write your copy around that
Do
instead of
one
just
for the app or
vomiting a bunch of detail on them.
it wouldn't have been. I'll just go with one last thing. It wouldn't have been so bad if they really highlighted the sandwich and then made a little notation about the app, like very secondarily, to
Mm.
just say, "Hey, if you use our app, you can order faster." Blah 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 blah. That would have made an effective ad, but it's just trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just
Yeah,
highlighted. They could have actually just. I wouldn't have even had the food. I just would have had like a really crisp looking, folded over on a flat bag,
yeah,
McDonald's bag,
yep,
instead of the food, and then a little tiny thing with the app,
yep,
and then the copy could just say, "Get it even faster."
yeah. Because I
That
was
alone.
almost
There you go, McDonald's. That's yours for free.
I was almost thinking, by the time you see this, if you use the app, you could add your food by now.
Yeah.
you know, just so many ways to do it, but this is good.
Yeah.
I
They
like.
actually, if you order and ahead of time, when you get there, or the next thing that happens after you click to pay and confirm the order, is the screen comes up and a yellow button that says, "I'm already here."
Mm,
They could have used that as the image.
yeah,
I'm already here. And people are like, "What's that? What's that for?" And then, and just like mention, just sort of mention, you could have, your order, we're cooking it now, something like that. It's not true,
lots of
but
ways. Lots of
right.
ways.
There's lots of ways to do this instead of this jumbled up way that they approached it.
I agree.
All right. That's it for me.
That's it for me.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Sorry,
everybody.
McDonald's. You do a great job otherwise. Love you.
I know. I don't know what happened here.